Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Astrology, Spicy Astrology Live, Aquarius 11th house. I brought my favorite Aquarius moon. Moo.
Oh, he says who, me? Mama.
Yeah. He's
Aw,
looking at himself on the camera.
I love that.
So cute.
He is so cute.
It's your
Sorry.
first real live.
He says I'm a celebrity.
I'm doing this for my iPad, so it's like a little different. For some reason my computer wasn't working, but we're in Mercury retrograde shadow, so it's understandable. Are you
It's
leaving
totally normal. I literally just ran and jumped on this 5 seconds ago. I just scarfed down Greek food, and I've been at the parade all night with the babies, and so I'm here.
Nice. A parade for what?
Ogden, they do like a little fireworks show. And
Oh,
I'm gonna move this so I can turn a little better. Okay, sorry. And
yeah.
it's just like a whole, like they turn on the lights to the Christmas village, which we left
Cute.
early for so that I could be on time, but then we got food and here we are. I made it. I'm like literally out of breath from running.
You made it. Well, your hair looks amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Have I
It's
have
so
we done
cute.
this since I've chopped
I
it?
remember I remember you had it maybe, but it just looks so good. I'm into
Oh,
it.
thank you. Thank you. I
Yeah.
cut it again and then I've been coloring it, so or lightening
Yeah.
it. So thank you.
Love it.
All right. So Julie and I like to talk about our experiences with Aquarius. And so I'm going to let you go first on, I would say, feminine, masculine Aquarius energy versus like evolved and unevolved.
Okay. I'm gonna try because I find that every time I think that I can pinpoint Aquarius energy, I can't, which makes it, I think, like a complicated sign sometimes. And I think it's like it can be misunderstood, but it also depends where the other placements heavily are. But my experience with Aquarius men are usually pretty good, especially if they're like evolved. Um, I find them to be kind of humanitarianism, like they do care about other people. They seem to have empathy, bigger picture. They can think outside the box. A little unique, which I love. Like I love a weirdo.
Mm-hmm.
But for a female Aquarius, in my experience, and it might just be an unevolved energy, it just was like aloof, detached, kind of dissociative, and calculated in
Yeah.
not necessarily a good way.
Yeah. I
Okay.
definitely, I definitely can relate. I think Aquarius is one of the most difficult signs to understand. It's right there with Pisces. I mean, they're at the very end. You think of like where they fall in the whole mathematical equation of astrology and all the signs and how they lay out. They are
Mm,
the most unique. Um, my experience with Aquarius men, I never get along with them. And I'm a Libra. I'm a fellow air sign. I should vibe heavily with them. I can't think of one Aquarius guy that I'm like, you know what? He was cool. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm sure you're out there. Maybe I'm just not running into the evolved
yeah.
ones, like you said. And then as far as Aquarius women, I mean, okay, so one time I really thought I found one. I thought I found the sweetest Aquarius girl, and she is. I still love her to this day, but we bartended together. And so I'll never forget the day that I realized she was just like the rest because we had a little band playing outside and they needed
Hmm.
an extension cord and they were using our bar to like plug it into. And it was dead summer, hot as hell. And I saw this version of her come out that was like, if you open this door one more time to run your extension cord, I will rip your face off with my hands. Like she was so terrifying. And I was just like, oh, there it is. And then, still sweet and I still love her. But after that, I started noticing like they're very cold.
Mm.
They're very cold and detached is probably one of the best words for it, but I don't think it's because they're just so aloof. I honestly don't think they give a fuck. I just
Yeah, which
don't.
that part I totally admire
Yeah,
until I don't.
they're in their own world. They're on their own mission. They really don't need anyone. They're total loners. They are vibing by themselves, 100% okay with it. And I mean, who can be mad at that? I'm not mad at it. Like you said, like I admire it, but I'm just like I try to think of celebrities that are Aquariuses that I really that I'm like, and no, I'm like they're assholes. Like the ones that I think of, I'm like that I can tell just by their, and I don't know them obviously, but I'm just like there's never, I don't know. And humanitarian falls under that evolved energy of an Aquarius, but I'm
Yeah,
not running into those types. I'm running into the unevolved asshole. And again, it's one of those, they say what they think, and I can appreciate that. I like to know where I stand with people. I want to know if you don't like me. I just, I can appreciate that energy.
yeah,
Very much that.
yeah.
So,
Me too.
and I am working with Gigi. She's kind of studying under me, and I fucking
Yeah.
love her. I love
Oh
her
my
so
god.
much.
Yay.
And she is like, I am having her go through like all the signs and all the houses and really dive into that and understand that. And she was like, Aquariuses are just assholes. She's like, if I think about it, everyone that I know, and I'm like, okay, if you're going to teach and do birth charts, you're going to have to expand and find some that you admire because there are really great of all signs.
Mhm.
So you can't just stay in that space because it's easy to get there. We all know how I
Yeah.
feel about Leo men, but I'm sure
Yeah.
there's great ones out there.
Yeah,
can't,
absolutely. That's so
you can't
funny.
get a whole sign. I do have my questions here
Yay.
for the Aquarius, and I didn't even send them to you today because um, that's always helpful to keep me on track because I will yap and ramble on and go on a whole nother thing. Um, First, before we go into the questions, where is Aquarius in your chart?
Oh, that's a great question. Let me look. I don't have this laptop open. I know I have Mercury Aquarius.
Oh, that plus your Capricorn, man.
Oh, I know. Not making a lot of friends with my personality.
You're like, well, it's okay. It's fine.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine.
It's fine. Let's look at mine.
Okay, astro.com. Also, happy day that Mercury is stationed direct and now Saturn. Woo
Mhm.
woo.
I know the universe is really doing some magical things at the end of the year. I appreciate that. I'm about to be traveling a lot, and I was like, oh, this is good.
Yeah, me too. What a weird day for technology, though. The shadow period is usually worse for me than the regular because
Yeah.
everything
It
is
depends
glitching
on
right
which
now.
planets are going, like which planets were in the Mercury retrograde, what the planets are doing. But typically, I'm pretty chill. The shadow is a little more
Yeah.
rough. So while you're looking for yours, I will. So my Jupiter is in Aquarius, which we're going to do a fun little, while Julie is looking for hers, we're going to do a fun little aspect coordination thing. So my rising is Sagittarius, and which means that the ruler of Sagittarius is what you follow in my chart to find my chart ruler. So Jupiter is my chart ruler because my ascendant is in Sagittarius because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So when you're looking at a chart, you would follow where my Jupiter is. So mine is in Aquarius in the second house. A lot of times someone would look at that and say, oh, Jupiter and Sagittarius, or yeah, Jupiter and Sagittarius, Aquarius in the second house is like an abundance, right? Like weird jobs, making a lot of money. The second house is all about possessions and daily, just like things that you acquire and self-worth. You would think that would be just like blown up there, right? Because that's the theme of my life. Well, as you start to learn astrology, if you look a little closer, my second house ruler, just because my Aquarius is in the second house, doesn't mean that it's my chart ruler. Capricorn is the chart ruler, which is an asshole and prolongs everything. So yes, all of those great fortunes and good things come to me, but not until later in my life. So fun way to just kind of dive into when you're chasing your chart ruler. Maybe you're an Aquarius ascendant or a Sagittarius is your ascendant. You would follow Jupiter in your chart. Look where Jupiter is. Look what signs it's in. Look at the house that it's in. What planets are there. And those are really big themes of your life. So, fun fact for Astrology 101. That's a little more, it's out of the beginner kind of class, but still good to know.
My Mercury and my Mars are Aquarius.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go into that. We're going to go through all the signs. So let me go moving on to the next one because the Mercury we're coming up quickly on that one. So let's talk about Aquarius moons. How many Aquarius moons, other than your cats, have you acquired in your life?
Gigi actually asked me to ask about her 28th degree Aquarius moon.
So hers being a little more further along, 28 degrees, she's almost at the 29 mark, means that her moon, part of her chart, has matured. She's pretty young, so she's probably still going through that transition of maturing. She's also a Taurus sun, so that matures her, kind of progresses her a little faster than most signs, just in the sense of progressions go. And she's learning how to do that too, so she'll kind of understand that. But Aquarius moons, there's two versions. I have a daughter that's an Aquarius moon. I have a father-in-law that's an Aquarius moon. And it's interesting to see different phases of their lives as they progress. They become a little more calm, not as reactive. Every Aquarius, unevolved Aquarius moon that I know is the most reactive energy I've ever experienced in my life. And I can say this not just from two people that I know, a handful of people that I've encountered throughout my life. And I'm like, oh, you're an Aquarius moon. Aside from one that's a Pisces, every single one of them have been so reactive, the most reactive people that I've ever met in my life. Now, as I see people evolve with that sign and that placement, they eventually learn how to control it a little better. But I still think that reaction is in there. Let's talk about Aquarius energy. Aquarius is, they're very independent, they're strong-willed, they're very focused on innovation and logic. There's not a lot of feelings there. And your moon is that placement of feelings. And so when you have a sign of logic in a place where feelings are, all about feelings, it kind of clashes. It's not an easy placement. It's not something that I'm like, oh, lucky you have an Aquarius moon. No, I'm never going to say that. I'm just going to say, how evolved, how much work have you done? Because, and you can typically tell because if they're a little quick to jump at you, probably not as evolved. If they're more like, go with the flow. My daughter's definitely not there yet. We're working on that. I watch her pop off all the time, but I'm just like, give yourself some space, some time. It's, you're dealing with a placement that's very difficult, that wants to think logically. Like, how do we logically explain our feelings? And sometimes it's necessary to feel. And it's just not a good placement for feeling because it's an air sign. It's a fixed air sign. It's stubborn as fuck. It doesn't want to feel. It just wants to rationalize everything. And that's hard.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. Aquarius Mercury. So if you take Mercury, which is the planet of communication, thinking, how you process things, and you have it in the sign of Aquarius, which is innovative, smart, quick, independent. I keep saying that, but it's almost like they're a little extroverted and they also don't really care what anyone thinks of them. And so when you have that in the place of where you think and how you maneuver through life, I think it gives you a very blunt way of speaking, a very direct, there's no fluff, you're straight to the point. And again, it's kind of cold. Like Aquarius, I'm like, they're not even human, they're aliens, they're cold.
I've been told alien and also robotic, like computer-esque the way I communicate.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
and
fun.
there's if you really think about it, I mean, Aquariuses are they are innovators. They are the people changing the world and making it for everyone. That I do believe they're the ones fighting at the front line of all things and, equal rights, everything. So
Mhm.
that is a big deal. And I think that's super important. And they are the ones pushing us. I think it was 2012 is when we shifted from Capricorn into Aquarius. And that's when like gay marriage and like not maybe when it was past, but when everything started to shift is when we went into this like energy of Aquarius, which is shift, change, a different direction. It's generally more freedom. They're all about freedom. They're all about expressing themselves and being unique. And those are necessary things for change. But if you in terms of thinking and how you are, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I like an Aquarius Mercury. Let's talk about Aquarius rising. We're just going to go through the top 6 and then I'll get to my questions. So my daughter is an Aquarius rising. She's 2.5 and she has pink hair. She literally goes into her ballet class with like these little heart sunglasses that are like different colors that are so funky. And I'm like thinking she's going to take them off, go in and take them off. No, she wears them the entire time in the class. She'll come out with them on and her tap shoes. And I'm just like, Salem, like, what are you doing? And she's like, no, this is what I'm doing. And so she is very much that different. She kind of, marches to the beat of her own drum. She is phenomenal in the weirdest way. And I'm like, I love it. We embrace it, we structure it, but we embrace it. So it's how they view the world is like a playground. And it's almost like, how can I make this better? And the world views them as like, wow, they're really before their time most of the time, or really late for their time. They kind of possess that energy of being ahead of their time, innovators,
Mhm. Yeah.
strong, game changers. They trailblazers. They do all the things, and they're not afraid to do that. There's a lot of bravery in that. So,
Mhm.
and then the Aquarius Venus, which is how you love and how you are in relationships. This is a person that absolutely requires a lot of freedom. Like you cannot um, try to control them. You cannot try to make them conform. A lot of times they do not participate in traditional relationships. It just doesn't work for them. They are very free and they want to feel free and they cannot feel trapped. And so a lot of times, and they're also, I mean, it depends on what you study. Like if you look at traditional astrology, it's ruled by Saturn, which generally means it takes them a while to do anything, find the career, find the love of their life. Like it really is a slow process for them. But
Mhm.
yeah, so I would say for an Aquarius Venus, it's somebody that marries very late in life, but that also has a lot of freedom. Really great match for a sign that doesn't require a lot. I say that, and then I'm going to turn around and say what my favorite sign is for Aquarius, but which is not so much a freedom sign, a little bit, but not what you would expect. And then Aquarius Mars, again, like you having an Aquarius Mars does not surprise me at all because you started the school and you do so many different things and it's like a cult and these just very vast, like different things that you just keep going at. Like you start and you just like create these things that are like empowering and you do it for the good of the people and for people to come together. And so that we can teach. I mean, we freely teach a bunch of astrology stuff that you have to pay for. And we don't do that. So, I mean, that is very Aquarius energy. So
Mhm.
that's very much your Aquarius Mars makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. My partner's a Venus Aquarius. I mean, yeah, Venus Aquaria, but 0 degree.
No. So he might get to that point of like, but also he's a Sagittarius. He probably does require some like freedom, but your
We
chart,
both do.
yeah, you need your own space, your own things. So
Yeah, it's
love that.
perfect.
Love it. Okay. So I got through the top 6 personality signs. Um Again, we kind of touched on why Aquariuses seem so cold. Um we keep going back to this parenting style. I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to say any names. I love her dearly. But my best friend growing up, and if she's watching this, she would totally admit to this and be like, you're right. But again, I'm not going to say her name. My best friend growing up, her mom was an Aquarius. She was not a good mom. Like she was, and I'm not saying they're all like this. This is just my experience with an Aquarius woman with a lot of Aquarius. She did her own thing. We did our own thing. I always hung out at her house because there was no parent supervision because she was doing her own thing. She did not care unless we did something like majorly wrong. She was then terrifying. But generally, she did her own thing. She still does her own thing, and she's always been really independent and just kind of not so much a parent as like a roommate. It almost felt like she was kind of like a roommate. She'd be like, "Oh, I'll be in my room painting. If you guys are hungry, make yourselves dinner, but clean up after yourself because I swear to God, if there's something you leave in the sink, you're done for." So, yeah, I don't know. That was my experience, but I would say they're probably, as far as like an overall astrology opinion, not my personal experience. There's strictness, 100% strictness. Not a lot of silliness. I think silliness is kind of like one of those things in a parenting recipe that's very necessary. Not all the time, but I think that it brings like a lightness to your kid's life. They don't really have that I've seen. So, but they're probably more about conditioning their kids and making them ready for the world and teaching them how to be successful, and not in like a Capricorn way, but in more of a like think for yourself kind of way. What do you think? Like, teaching them how to think for themselves basically, because they want them to take over the world, I'm sure, because that's that kind of energy, I would say, as an Aquarius parent. But yeah, very strict. I would say strict and maybe fun at times I could see, but I'm not sure how. What would be your intake on like an Aquarius parent?
I'm trying to think if I guess I know or knew one. It was my ex, he was a parent, and he had two very different relationships with his kids.
Hmm,
Yeah, trying to
that's
think.
interesting.
Yeah, very different. Like, yeah, they were polar opposites.
Was he strict?
It's hard to tell because I didn't get to witness it. I just was told from his perspective, so I'm really not
Oh,
sure.
okay. Yeah. I don't know. I'm really trying to dig deep and think of some Aquarius parents that I know, but I'm sure there's like this responsible side of them. They're very responsible. There's probably a routine there. They're a fixed sign, so they probably don't move a lot or change a lot, which I think could be good for certain kids.
Mm,
Um, yeah, not a bad parent. I've just experienced, and I don't want to say she was a bad parent. She just did her own thing.
yeah, that pretty much describes an Aquarius.
Yeah, she did her own thing. So, but I am sure there's really great Aquarius parents out there. If you're watching and you're like, no, tell us how you parents. Um, what is the best sign for Aquarius to date and why? So my actual favorite sign for an Aquarius, and it's normally not a polarity, is what I would suggest, but I love a Leo Aquarius mix, and I'll tell you why.
Mm,
Leos are a little more needy. That's the only downside to that, but they are both equally as much of an asshole as the other. And I feel like it's so like they complement each other so well with like the rudeness and just, and they
prob
both do their thing, right? Do you see
yeah,
what I'm
probably like good banter for sure.
Oh, for sure.
And
And they
people
both
think they're probably fighting.
Mhm. Yeah, I have so many friends that have like my old assistant, her best friend was an Aquarius and she ended up marrying a Leo, and it was like the same kind of relationship, this weird fighting and angry because she hung out with another friend, but she got low key loved it. And then the marriage thing was kind of the same. And I was just like, wow, I don't know. I see it a lot. My old tattoo artist, he's a Leo, his wife is an Aquarius, and they kind of that same energy. He's an asshole. She's kind of an asshole. And it works. I've never been like in the house, I guess, at the same time, like to see how it all like unfolds.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not that, but what I've seen from the outside, a very short snippet. I love an Aquarius Leo mix. I think it's my favorite. Obviously, with air signs, Aquarius with a Gemini could be really fun because Geminis, they're curious and they have a lot of questions. And I do think that Aquarius is like to talk about themselves and like, you know, they have a lot of ideas as well. And Geminis are so curious. And it's like it kind of fuels that fire. There's that energy there that's like, oh, yeah, yeah, tell me more. Um,
Mhm.
long term, I don't think that's a good mix because I just think it kind of fizzles out. Gemini is
I
one
was
of the
gonna say not
like,
grounded.
not grounded, yeah. And the same with Libras. Like, I feel like a lot of times, Libra and Aquarius they're supposed to be a good match because they're both air signs, but Libra is like kind and sweet. And again, the Aquarius are just so direct and strong-willed in their personality that I don't even know how that really aligns. I like an Aquarius with an Aquarius. I normally never
Mhm.
say like date your own sign, but that is the one that I'm like an Aquarius with an Aquarius, I think can be best friends. I think there's like understanding, they get each other. Um, that's probably my second favorite match for an Aquarius.
Hmm.
I like a Capricorn for an Aquarius.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a ton of sense if you look at just the sun signs, but if they had a lot of things going in their charts that really flowed, it could be really beautiful because Capricorns really love consistency and they like the directness. And where Aquarius is an air sign, it's also fixed. So it's pretty consistent. It doesn't shift a lot. And I think that there's a real understanding there between like Capricorn energy and Aquarius energy. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, those are my favorite. Sagittarius and Aquarius are good because they're both really free and they like to do their own thing. And there's that room for freedom there. Aries and Aquarius, I think that could work depending on all of their other things in their chart, but it's not my most recommended. Aquarius with water signs, I don't know.
Ugh.
I don't think so. I mean, water signs require a lot of emotional attention
Mhm.
most of the
Mhm.
time. There are the evolved rare occasions. And Aquarius, I just don't feel like have that want because I do think they could understand it. I do think that they're very intelligent and they would have the capability to be empaths, but I've yet to see one that wants that. That's like, "Oh yeah, let me feel what you're feeling." I don't think that's the direction Aquarius is going. And so maybe if that were what the Aquarius was looking for, possibly, but typically I wouldn't recommend a water sign for an Aquarius. And then Earth is challenging because they are so free and they do like excitement and they like to explore. And Earth signs typically are very strict and routines and the way that they like things. And I think that could shake up an Aquarius's world. So I really recommend fire, air for the Aquarius, for the Aquarians.
Yeah.
Do you have
And
any input?
Aquarius, it's the water bearer sign, right? So it has
Mhm.
water, but it's also an air sign. So we were talking about that earlier, actually, um, in my house. But then, yeah, so I feel like, yeah, I just don't really, as far as like compatibility, though, even though they might have some water elements to it, I just don't really see them with, no.
Yeah, it would be challenging, but again, I
Yeah.
mean, the Aquarius person could have a ton of water in their chart, and the water person could have a ton of air in their chart, and it could be a beautiful mix. And so that is the beauty of astrology is without really looking at a chart, you could
Yeah.
say none of these go together, all of these go together, and that may not be the case at all. So these are
Yeah.
just overgeneralizations. Aquarius Mars, would you find that active? Absolutely. I think that not only physically active, but an Aquarius Mars is like mentally active, constantly searching for something new or how to improve something, looking to change, grow. There's a lot of mental stimulation there. So it's kind of like this person would have the energy and the capability to lead really big projects and create really big, Academy of Logic and Light, those sort of things. That takes a
Yeah.
lot of your energy. You work and you do a shit ton of lives with different classes that are not just astrology. They're all the things. So
Yeah. It keeps it fun.
absolutely.
I'd be bored otherwise.
Yeah, what else would you do? I have 1,000 kids, so, and I do that, and I work.
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't be bored, but this is what I enjoy. This is what I like. An Aquarius Jupiter lucky question mark. I mean, yes. So Jupiter, the planet of expansion and abundance in Aquarius, really could capture like some unique ways of creating abundance. I really, my Jupiter is in Aquarius, and I feel like I'm very blessed in the sense of like how I view things. I have a very different outlook. Like there's been times in my life where like I've struggled and I can just see the beauty in it. Like, man, like I wouldn't really understand being, what it feels like to not be struggling. I wouldn't have that experience if I didn't go through this. And I wouldn't know how to, I just look at things very differently to where I've seen other people be like, oh, this sucks. And I'm like, oh, but like think of it this way, like kind of overly optimistic, which that's also my Sagittarius rising, which can be very annoying for people because it's like, no, this sucks. Just say, call it for what it is. And I'm like, no, 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 hear me out. But that Aquarius, like, I think that each time that I go through something that is heartbreaking, it gives me the capability to expand and see it as something like a learning tool, which
Mm.
I've always had that at a young age. It wasn't something that I think I've necessarily evolved through. I think that having that placement has really helped me see the positive and expand my capability of understanding that this was a lesson and I can now see the beauty on the other side. It's like when you're sick, you're like, oh my God, I'm never gonna, when I'm feeling well, take that for granted ever again. I've had that my whole life to be able to see that. And I think that I don't think most people have that. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I would definitely say to answer the question that an Aquarius Jupiter is very lucky. Sorry, I lost my place, but on my questions. But, you could have things I also have things that really trine in that aspect in my charts that really highlight that. So, having Aquarius, Jupiter, I'm a Libra sun, so that right there trines it, makes it this beautiful kind of like personality that just sees the positive.
Mm. I like that.
Yeah. Is an Aquarius an intuitive sign? What are your thoughts on Aquarius and intuition?
I would say yes, but I think that they could also get in their own way.
Mhm.
Quick assessment.
Mhm. I will say one of the girls that I've worked with and kind of worked under and studied under, she is an Aquarius in the 8th house. She knew some shit. Like she knew a lot. And I'm like, wow. I think it really depends on their full chart, obviously. But I do think the 8th house, 4th house, and 12th house, if there's an Aquarius energy in those houses, I think that really gives an advantage for intuitive nature and just
Mhm.
like crazy stuff. So I do also think that there could be other things that could highlight that if they had like some Scorpio in there, because Scorpio, even though it
Mm.
squares Aquarius, it does kind of shine a light on it. So there's some things that could really, really cause an Aquarius to be very intuitive. Um, is an Aquarius Uranus a rebel? So I thought that I had an Aquarius Uranus, and I do not. Which I'm like, what? Oh, mine is Sagittarius. Equally as rebellious. Maybe not equally, but
Yeah.
yes. So anytime I see Aquarius, which in modern astrology, Uranus rules Aquarius. So depending on how you look at it, it could really highlight that in your chart. You could be super rebellious. I used to know someone who had this placement, and I talked about this person before because he's also a Sagittarius sun, but he would literally follow cops around and record them and just piss them off, just to piss them off. We would just be like, "Hey,
Wow.
what did you do tonight?" "Oh, I went around recording cops, waiting for them to," like, right in their face. And so I was like, that makes a lot of sense for this placement because there's just so much rebellion in their nature, and to cause like a static, it's like they enjoy it. You throw that with a Sagittarius sun, it's a recipe for disaster.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it's necessarily a good or a bad thing on this question. I wouldn't want that because I really don't like a lot of drama, but some people do. And people that,
Mhm.
create that drama might have this placement. So if you find
Mm.
yourself in continuous drama, look where your Uranus stands. And if it's an Aquarius, you might want to work on that or get in trouble with the law, whichever. Okay. Do you have any questions so far?
Mm. Okay, so if I had Mars in Aquarius, but then it sits in the seventh house of Libra, that
So
feels
Libra is
like
your seventh house ruler.
uh no, sorry. My Aquarius is my seventh house ruler, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, think of it in terms of like Aquarius is ruling your seventh house. And I also think that, your seventh house is relationships, partnerships. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, which is sometimes takes a really long time. And so, if you look at it in terms of, it could mean like things take a long time for you. They don't come to you at the beginning of your life, whether it be relationships and partnerships in general. It doesn't have to be like it can be like a platonic uh,
Mm,
types of relationships or business relationships a lot of times. Like if you think of things like if you've really been working on something, say the academy, Saturn takes forever. Takes its
tell me
serious
about it.
time. Yeah. So and then in Aquarius, let me think about it. Mars in Aquarius. What degree is it at? Is it a
Mars is 20 degrees.
hmm. So it's really at a place of, things that you've really tried to create and bring to life will just take a long time to get there, but they will happen. Mars is the action sign, so keep staying steady, active with it. It doesn't come quick, unfortunately. Same with
Yeah.
like, your true love or like relationships. It doesn't You go through a lot of really hard shit because Saturn is the planet of teaching all the hard things, and you have it ruling your seventh house of relationships. And so
Mm,
you really go through the ringer of that. Um, like my
can confirm.
Yeah, I don't have that. I'm really like, I don't,
Mhm.
some things, but not like you. Like I look at things, I'm like, I'm kind of grateful I don't have Saturn there in the seventh. Mine's just in the 12th house. That's a whole nother thing. But I don't have to deal with that. And I can appreciate that. But yours just takes longer, and finding and going through the shit a lot of times is through relationships. So
That's fair.
yeah. And different things because Aquarius is about experiencing different things. So
Mhm.
always bad. Like I said, you just got to see that positive silver lining.
Yeah, slow and steady.
Fuck off, Elle. Nobody has time for your optimistic views right now. No, I mean, like I said, I'm grateful for the things that I have, but that one would be a challenging one.
Mhm. And then the Mercury Aquarius is only 2 degrees, but then it sits in the 6th house, so
Mm.
it's like directness, but also a compartmentalized. So I feel like that makes more sense why I'm a slow and diligent processor, maybe?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, even though Aquarius is like quick with the innovation and like, it doesn't necessarily have to mean like speed quick. Ahead of the
Mhm.
time is also part of that
Yeah.
aspect. It's like you may not be so fast to be like, oh, I'm doing this, this, and this. It's more of like, something that's very future.
Mm-hmm.
an idea that really comes into fruition by, caution, sixth house energy, taking your time, making sure all your
Mm-hmm.
ducks are in a row, having that like aligned energy of like, okay, everything makes sense, everything aligns. So it does mix it up a little bit, slows it down,
Yeah.
but also, what is your sixth house ruler?
Capricorn.
Capricorn? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Then that slows it way down. It's Capricorn. Again, Saturn ruler, all the Saturn rulers.
This is how I knew I couldn't die until I was old because I just knew I had so much stuff to do and I knew that I'm gonna get it done. And so there's not a
It's not
rush,
soon.
but also is why I just like threw away my 20s and 30s because I was like, well, yeah, I
I might
just
as
had a
well have a good
sense.
time.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that. I mean, what would be your favorite sign in Aquarius? Or yeah, and in what house? Ooh.
Hmm.
I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with having an Aquarius sun and not giving two shits about anything. I love that for people. I'm like trying to channel
I
that.
mean, yeah.
You know?
And the 10th house, I think, would be a great place.
See, I was gonna say fifth house.
I was thinking 5th, but then I was like, I think 10th would be even better because if you're like think outside of the box and then it rules the 10th house or sits in the 10th house of like business, it could be pretty
But
innovative. But again,
but
that's me with my Capricorn and Aquarius energy.
I'm just trying to have fun over here. No, no, no. But think about it in terms of that. Just unless you own your own business, because if you work
Right.
for people and you
Oh, no.
that would be so bad.
Yeah, you
So
have to work for yourself.
yeah, so I would definitely say that would be cool having an Aquarius on the 10th house if you owned your own business. If you
Yeah.
work for someone, probably not the best placement. I say fifth house because the fifth house is all about fun and art and creativity. And you mix like that art and creativity with this funky, weird Aquarius energy.
Yeah.
And I just imagine like a starving artist on the beach painting pictures and just giving them away to everybody with nothing to care about and just that kind of energy. Or I like I said, that Aquarius girl that I used to study under in the eighth house, she had some things. She knew some things. She was tapped into the upstairs. So
That's
I
so
don't know, that could be
interesting.
cool. It might be a little heavy. She was pretty dark. Yeah,
Mm,
she was dark, but she knew some things. I appreciate
yeah,
it. To
that's
answer that
cool.
question, I would say an Aquarius sun in the fifth house for me. 10th house for Julie, owning her own
Mhm.
business because she's a Capricorn. And Aquarius sun in the seventh house. What would you recommend for this person since their ascendant is probably in Leo? So my daughter is an Aquarius. This has this placement actually. So her moon is an Aquarius in the seventh house, and she's a Leo rising. Um, but this is asking sun. So anytime your sun is in the opposite position of your ascendant, there's a challenge there. Anytime your top three personalities have different especially polarities mixed in there, it's always a challenge in the sense of, for instance, your sun, which again I think Leos and Aquariuses are pretty similar. So if you're going to have a polarity, this one may not be a bad one. But if you think of it in terms as like Leo is all about self, me, 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 and Aquarius is more about a whole, like what can we do to change the world. And so if you have a Leo ascendant, which is who you are to your core, all about me, and up here in your mind, you feel like you need to be out there in the world, there's this conflict of who you are. And it's very confusing. It makes things really hazy. You feel like you should be doing all these things in the world, but you also are very selfish. And so I would say that's a hard placement. If you had an
Mm.
Aquarius sun in the seventh house, Leo rising, but, depending on what else you had going on in your chart, you could have some really cool aspects in there that could ease that down a little bit.
Mhm.
How dark is an Aquarius sun in the eighth house? Well, I just talked about an Aquarius sun in the eighth house. She pretty dark. I would say, eighth house is death, transformation, occult, things like that. And a lot of times, any sign that's in the eighth house is drawn to that darker energy. Aquariuses tend to be kind of dark, anyways. I would imagine an all black wardrobe and possibly black lipstick, but very intuitive, very in tune with the other side. I think it's a very good placement for somebody who wants to do spiritual work or medium work, things like that, because
Mm-hmm.
you have a capability of connecting in those terms. So
Mm-hmm.
pretty dark, though. I would say pretty dark. Aquarius in the ninth house. I mean, I think this is a great philosopher placement.
Oh
So,
yeah.
I mean, that's what I think of when I'm like, oh, Aquarius, you're an Aquarius sun in the ninth house. Like, what was your major in college? Tell me. Because I
Yeah.
already know.
Yeah, that would be a really good one.
They're just such free thinkers and they
Yeah.
can expand the way that their mind, just sees things. And then in the ninth house of education and learning and
Wisdom.
travel. I mean, these people probably travel a lot. I mean, I know a lot of Aquariuses like to travel. They want to go all over the world. They're very curious in that sense of like what all the places in the world look like and feel like. They have all of these different ways that they like to experience things. And so, I don't know why I didn't say this one. This would probably I take my answer back earlier. I take it out of the fifth house and I put it in the ninth. I would like to have a sun Aquarius in the ninth house. It's
Yeah.
light, it's fun, smart. I mean, I guarantee you this person the wisdom this person would hold, it would be crazy. So
Yeah. For sure.
that one's good. If you have this placement, let us know. And let us know what you do in your spare time and
Mm-hmm.
probably just teach us some things because I guarantee this person is just like phenomenally smart.
Yeah.
All right. Aquarius in the 10th house. We did just kind of touch on this one too. I mean, Aquarius, they are rebellious and they do things their own way. And I think that anytime I've actually never worked with an Aquarius, I don't think. They don't exist in the work world because the truth
They're
is
their own bosses.
they are. They have to be because really they do not do well with structure. And I've had a lot of like corporate jobs, not a lot, but every corporate job that I've had, I've never worked with an Aquarius.
Wow.
I'm trying to like check that and make sure. But yeah, I've never worked with an Aquarius. And
That
so
tracks.
yeah, because they're doing something else. They're on their own little mission. They even have their own business, or it's just not the field that I would choose. They're probably doing like artsy things, or I don't know, not what I'm doing, clearly,
Yeah.
or what Julie's doing.
Yeah.
That's interesting now that I say that, because I can't think of a sign that I've never worked with other than an Aquarius. Other than when I
Hmm.
bartended, they're all bartenders. I guarantee it.
I could see that.
Because I
I could
actually
see
knew
that.
2 Aquarius bartenders.
I do know I have worked with Aquarians but on an airplane, so we're our own thing anyways. We don't really have I mean, we have bosses, but like we self-manage for the
Y-
most part.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, I could see that being a good fit. Something that allows them to be free, it would have to be Aquarius Sun in the 10th house. Aquarius Sun in the 11th house, a lot of friends, no friends. Well, Aquarius, the natural house for Aquarius is the 11th house. And so this is a placement of friendships, humanitarian work, things that really align with all things Aquarius. So this would not be a bad placement, but I don't see Aquarius as ever as like, oh, I have so many friends. Like they kind of stick to their main friends. Like again, they're kind of loners. They don't want a lot of people. So I wouldn't say like a lot of friends. I would say this would be a placement of someone with a lot of close friends. Maybe they met them on humanitarian trips or community work or things that they are giving back. That's probably their base of friendship with
Mm-hmm.
this placement. But yeah, I don't see them as like a social Gemini or a social Libra who have 1,000 acquaintances.
Yeah.
I call them all my friends, but
Yeah.
most of the time. It's just an acquaintance, if I'm being real.
Yeah.
And then Aquarius in the 12th house. Is this a spiritual placement? Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you have any 12th house placements, it is some sort of spiritual. It's the loss and hardship. And I don't want to say it's my least favorite house, but I mean, depending on what all is there, it can be hard. So I would definitely say that this person has a lot of secrets. 12th house also possesses secrets. They're already kind of private, and they also don't like to share a lot about their lives. And I say that. They do like to share. They like to talk about themselves, but this could probably pull back on some of that. This would make them a little less inclined to tell you, a little more secretive, and just a more quieter, subtle Aquarius. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm trying to think of the Aquarius person that I know is not quiet, not secretive, overshares.
Probably 5th
But
house energy.
yeah, except nothing's in the 5th house on this one. It's Sun sits in the 12th house, Aquarius. Mercury, Aquarius. Venus, Capricorn.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And they are an Aquarius rising or
Sun. Pisces rising.
oh, okay, there it is.
Mm.
Pisces are just, well, when you have it in a placement of, well, no, actually, now that I'm like a Pisces rising, I'd have to see the chart because that wouldn't make sense either. I was about to say, I was
I'll
thinking
send you
more
a little
quiet,
screenshot.
secretive, and then I was like, no, wait, they're the opposite of that. So Aquarius would not make sense, or a Pisces would not make sense on these, and it being a yapper.
I want to send a picture. Figure out how to do it on here.
This or
to your phone.
Because yeah, all of those 12th house Capricorn and Pisces would be very secretive, quiet, not sharing your life with anybody. Oh, the Grand Trine.
This might be an example of a healed versus a unhealed, or a evolved versus unevolved, because this one's a hot mess. That's why I had to look.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because it's a day chart, and typically they tend to be a little more talkative than a night chart and a little more open. And these are my experiences, but I feel like this person, and what's crazy is I was thinking like, okay, what is in Libra? What is in Sagittarius, Aries, Leo? Just because those tend to be more. But the interesting thing is every single house and sign that I was thinking that I was going to go to see possibly where that could be coming from, they're all empty, which is an indication in itself of why someone may overshare because of the emptiness in the houses. Astrology is just really wild on how you get to the places. But the grand chart, this chart is pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
How old is this person? 90, yeah. So 35?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I want to know how this person's Saturn return went. Do you know?
I have some ideas.
Wow. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, no. Side quest.
Sometimes you get a chart. We're ahead of time. So if you have any questions, Aquarius questions, feel free to shoot them over. But yeah, I sometimes you see a chart and you're just like, wow, this person, all these empty houses.
Yeah. I'm trying to be nice, so I'm just not gonna say nothing at all.
Sometimes that's what you have to do. And I know that's, not that
Hard
hard for you.
hard for me in a Mercury Aquarius.
Well, I've had to, Gigi, she's been so fun and
I
just so
love her.
cute. Oh my God, I do too. And we sometimes I can voice chat a little easier than texting, or sometimes I can be on the text and just like bam, 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 knock out her questions. And then sometimes I have the toddlers or the toddler and the baby and all these things. And it's like 3 days later and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be inconsistent, and she gets it. I know I'm always
Yeah.
like with the kids, but her Aquarius moon, I feel like she's way more evolved and realizes things than she realizes.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
I definitely I see the like where she goes. Like I'm like, read this chart because I like to know where people's heads go first and what they lean towards. And it's
Mm.
always just really cool to me to see like how people read a chart and where they go first. She's the Chiron and the Venus were her first two like go-tos, and I'm like, yes, I love that. I mean, but that's her style, and
Yeah.
that's absolutely amazing. So
Yeah. I love it.
yeah,
Beautiful brain and
yes,
beautiful heart.
oh yeah, 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 for sure. Well, cool. Well, we made it in our
We made
hour.
it.
I know. I'm just like, thank you guys so much for showing up. I'm actually in Utah this time. Next time we should do one together because I will be
Yeah,
in Utah again. And
I'll
so,
be here.
all
And
right.
I'm off.
Nice. Yeah, let's try to do one together. That'll be so
Yeah,
fun.
that would be a blast. I would love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
All right. Thanks, everyone. And we'll see you next month for Pisces.
yes, let me look at the date real quick before I let you go. Did we? Oh yeah, we did. It's going to be December. Oh no, I am not in town. December 19th. I'll be in Peru, so we'll not even be here even though you're here.
Okay. Never mind. That's fine. December 19th works.
Yeah, I
I'm going
will
to have
see
it on.
you on the 19th.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'll see you later. Bye, guys. Thank you.